Welcome to the Education Student University webinar season 4, day 15, a 37 days live event, and I welcome you all for this event. Actually, my computer got restarted. I had to, that's why I was a little late to join in. I'm very sorry for that. So let's start with the presentation without wasting a lot of time. Can you see my presentations? Can you see my presentation? Thanks to the technology that we are able to basically connect to the internet and for the various facilities, it just shows you the importance of the technology in life today. For a few minutes, if your computer gets restarted, you are disconnected. So thank you again. And today, basically, we are going to have on study abroad. So a lot of study abroad tips, techniques will start from today onwards. I hope you have taken your notes to basically write all those things, and I hope all these sessions are going to be useful for you all. So let me start with presenting the company, Education Abroad Counseling Center. Now, Education Abroad Counseling Center started in February 2000. The vision was to educate the youth by providing them with study abroad career options worldwide. Our mission is to help 10 lakh high school and graduate students achieve career growth using pre-application technology. We have counseled 13,500 students. It's a 21-year-old organization. The USP is that we do counseling for all countries, all levels, starting from 7th grade to the doctorate, all major programs, guaranteed admission or a total counseling fee refund, because we are based on pre-application research to find eligibility of your student's profile with the university admission requirements. Now, today we are going to talk about why study abroad and how to select country. This is the first session in study abroad, 1st of September, Wednesday. So there will be maybe 15, 16 sessions of study abroad that I'll be taking. And each of these sessions will be important. So let's go with today's session, why study abroad? This is the prime question for anybody who wants to go abroad. Why study abroad? Why you want to go abroad? Why study abroad? Why not in India? Why study abroad? So this presentation will try to answer that question. And most important, if this is clear, then basically you should go abroad. If this is not clear, then you should not go abroad. Let me make it very clear. Because you need to get your purpose right to get your dream fulfilled. So without wasting much of the time, I go with the first point. Now, the whole presentation is with the objective to educate and not to criticize anything. So please take it positively. Now, first is lack of practical or experiential learning. Okay. Indian education is more theoretical based. Okay. It is theoretical based. So students who basically study don't get practical exposure of what they are studying. So one of the drawback basically is lack of practical and experiential learning that is available in India, because of which students go abroad. Now, because of which it slows the learning process of the student, because you are basically stuck to the subject, the conceptual, but you are not able to basically tell the practical aspect of it. So it slows down the learning process of the student. Now, what happens is, since you are not exposed to the practical aspect of this, you cannot relate the conceptual knowledge with the real world, how this is used. So it restricts students' growth in real world. And since you cannot relate it, you find it difficult to understand what new skill you need to learn so that you are employable. And if you don't know that, you limit your employment opportunities or growth opportunities. So lack of practical or experiential learning is one factor. If you compare it with study abroad, with universities abroad, basically they are practical based. They give enough importance to practical as well. Okay. They have latest dynamic curriculum, latest technology, hands-on experience on latest equipments. So you get basically best of both. So in that way, you understand what you are studying, you can relate to what you are studying, and that's why basically they are more employable. That's why students go abroad and spend so much to go abroad. Second is global recognition. Now, Indian degrees are not recognized worldwide, barring few IITs and IIMs and NIC. Not all degrees are recognized outside globally. So to basically get a degree which is acceptable internationally, students go abroad. Now, when you have, let's say, two students, one who have studied from India and one from who has done his education abroad, mostly the employer give preference to students with international degree. The jobs and salary basically doesn't match the qualification if you have studied from India. People who have done graduate don't find job, and if they do job, that job is not as per the qualification. They have spent years studying and getting that degree. They have worked hard, they have invested the energy and everything to get those good grades. And after doing everything, the degree certificate, they don't get the job as per their qualification, or their salary doesn't match as per the qualification. In abroad, you are paid as per the qualification. These statistics are available, so you can watch it, you can Google it, and you can see it yourself. So abroad, you are paid as per your qualification, and here you don't find job as per your qualification. So that's why students want to go abroad. There's too much pressure on students because for us, marks, grade, percentage is very, very important. If my son doesn't get above 90%, above 95%, he will not be qualified in this institute. He will not get admission for medical. He will have problem. If he doesn't get good grades in XYZ, he will not be able to do well. So our education system is more based on grades, academic. It's basically theoretical based, and it is based on grades. So a student has to basically continuously is studying. A lot of pressure is put on the student to get those good marks, and there is no importance given to the development, to other development, which is important for in his life. The focus is basically on getting good grades. Now, when you are pressured with exams throughout the year, you are not going to think about extracurricular activities like games, music, dance, which could be of your also be your interest. You try to basically be one. You are only on one approach to get good marks. Mugging up, since basically a lot of importance is given to grades, percentages, okay, student instead of understanding the concept, they try to mug up, because finally for them what is important is marks, not important whether you have understood or not. Even the professors and the teachers often anticipate that the student should write the definition as per the textbook. So directly or indirectly, they tell their students to mug up. So there is not much importance given to the logical and critical thinking. Nobody is asking why or tries to find the reason behind learning or the story behind the concept. So there is no much importance given to logical and critical thinking. In abroad, this is basically, you are continuously evaluated. You are basically told to ask questions. You are based on your questions. You are evaluated. They give marks. Class participation is important. There are various aspects of evaluating a student. Since we basically depend more on grades, percentage, and we want my child should get good grades, we finally end up mugging up and we are not focused on basically genuinely understanding the concept of what we are studying. What we study is not important. Marks are important. Restricted subject choice. Now in India, basically, if you are in science, you can take commerce arts. If you are in commerce, you can take arts, but you can't take science. If you are in arts, you can't take science and commerce. I have heard an article in 2021 that this is going to change or they have changed, but I don't find basically this is being implemented in colleges. A commerce student cannot take a biology subject. It is not necessary basically a person, who is studying commerce doesn't have interest in other areas. Whereas in abroad, you are allowed to do that. You can take mix and match of many subjects. A lot of options are available. Flexibility is available in choosing the subjects. In the university presentation, they said you can come, you can take the mathematics, and then you can take a transfer to economics and do economics with mathematics. Even if you don't, economics need mathematics, even if you don't have mathematics, you can take other subject. In India, it is not possible. Because here we go as per stream, science stream, commerce stream, arts stream, engineering stream, or architecture stream, and the subjects are accordingly decided. There is very less scope to basically have subject choice. There is insufficient choice of subjects, but more so, basically, when students want to go for further education, there are no choices of subjects available, or there are insufficient choices of subjects available. Even at undergraduate level, if you want to do specializations, there are not many specializations available at undergraduate level as well. So students want to go abroad because there you have a lot of specializations available at undergraduate, and more so at a master's level if why you want to specialize and where you want to learn a detail of a particular specializations. Teaching faculty. Many schools and colleges do not, though India is basically having the largest educated teachers in the probably, in the world, or I don't know in terms of, but they have the largest, but there are not sufficient school teachers and professors available in the rural areas. And schools, colleges, and government colleges, small government colleges, they don't have. And we see that in the news. But we don't take any actions. We don't do anything basically about it. Unless our entire education system develop, we will not be a developed country. Until the students basically of this country are able to get the best, they are not going to stay here. They are going to go abroad. Also, many teachers or professors are not adequately qualified or experienced to provide quality education. So, if you have seen the university presentations from foreign universities, they say 95% of their professors are PhDs. 97% of the professors are PhDs. They highlight it. They also, if you go to the website, you will find that, they put the experiences, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years of experiences. So if you are not going to have a well-qualified teacher with a good experience, it is difficult to provide quality education. The objective of why we started my educational guide was to let students know about the various subjects basically that I mentioned in the last slide. Because students are not aware of the various options that are available abroad. They're absolutely not, because we have these limited choices. So I tried to basically decide to, on my part, to give it free to 1,000 schools and colleges so that at least the students are aware. So there has to be some sort of awareness created. There has to be a faculty improvement so that our quality of education improves. Besides having a practical approach and not evaluating purely on grades. Research opportunities. Students who want to do research, first basically they don't get that type of facilities. When you're doing research, you need a good lab. Our lab are still, most of the colleges doesn't have proper equipments. They need the latest equipments. They need the technology so that they can do their research based on what is happening now, not based on what is happening 10 years ago. It will of no use. There are not many research subjects available. So students who are doing their masters in research subjects don't find their specializations. So since they are not finding those specializations, they want to go abroad and study. And last, there's a lack of research funding. So, let's take basically in abroad, let's say Fortune 500 companies or whichever, they do funding to the universities for research, whereas most of our colleges don't get those fundings. Once, if you don't get the funding, basically the research facility will not improve. And if research facilities not improve, basically students will go abroad. Or the government has to do something to improve the overall education system, to improve the overall research facilities. So these were some of the important points why you should basically consider going abroad, why study abroad is so important. Now, how to select a country? I normally divide it into 4 choices: international degree, international exposure, international work experience, and long-term settlement. Student go because of international degree and international exposure. Let me club them together. You have studied 12 years in India, you go abroad, you get an international degree which is acceptable worldwide, and you basically, when you're going abroad, you meet so many people, your perspective stages, your thinking stages, you are more adaptable, a lot of good things that comes to basically getting an international exposure. Students also go abroad because they want to work abroad. So if they study in India, more likely they are going to work in India. If they want to study abroad, and if that country is allowing work opportunity, they can go in that country and study because they have studied that, they will be absorbed there for the work. And finally, some of the students go abroad because they want to settle abroad. So accordingly, you can choose countries which can allow you to settle abroad. So they study abroad, they work abroad, and they settle abroad. These are basically major 4 things that I take it, but there are other reasons also. What are the other reasons? Which country you want to travel? Some basically already have their country of choice. So if you have that country of choice that you have been looking forward to, then you can go to that country. Okay, irrespective of whether what is happened or not, but you want to go to that country. So go to that country and study. What do you want to study? Now, certain programs, basically, for example, a student came for wildlife photography. So if you want to do wildlife photography, you need to see which country has that career scope as well. So you can accordingly study in that country. Cost is an important factor. Study abroad is expensive. Let's accept that. Okay, there is a return of investment. Students who go there are able to get returns on the investment. But the first is basically you still have to meet the finance. Sometimes you may not be comfortable with education loan. So you need to answer those important questions when you are going to select a country. What type of budget you have? Weather. If you are, if you are okay with all types of weather, fine. If you are not okay with basically winter, then you can avoid those countries. If you are allergic to cold weather, then you can avoid those countries. Support network. You have friends and families in those countries. So when you have friends and families, you feel inclined to go into that country. So you go to that country because you have some support network. Essential requirements. Certain countries have requirements. For example, if you want to study in Germany, maybe you would like to learn a German language. It's an essential requirement. If you want to do an MBA in US, maybe you will have to take that GMAT and the TOEFL. It could be an essential requirement. Some have visited that country, so they like the country and they want to go to that country. And some have visited the university and they like the university, they have corresponded with the professor, they like the program, and then they want to go to that university, so hence they select that country. So these are some of the important points that I've covered today. I hope you found it useful.